Hey everyone, I am IamT-Rex, and today I'm starting out my reviews for the MonsterVerse. The MonsterVerse, in case you don't know, was done by Legendary Pictures a few years back, and it's all leading up to Godzilla vs Kong. So I will be reviewing every film in the MonsterVerse leading up to Godzilla vs Kong, and then I'll be reviewing Godzilla vs Kong. So we're going to start off with the first film today with Godzilla 2014. And with that, let's get started. So Godzilla is a film from 2014 about Godzilla. In this film, there are these monsters that are starting to be discovered, leading to these evil monsters rising that could bring down humanity as we know it. And this film's narrative is a pretty average monster movie. You got your bad monsters that are rising up, and then there's Godzilla and they are going to fight. Now, the story in these films are never really top tier, but when it comes to these movies, it's all about the execution. And if you can make this a fun and engaging movie. Did I come in here expecting some Shakespeare? No, I did not come here for that. I just want to have an entertaining monster film. Luckily, this film knows just when to say, hey, screw it, we're going to have sci-fi stuff, and we're just going to have fun with this movie. There's some amazing spectacle, and honestly, I did not think this ending to this film was going to be so big and grand. It left you with your jaw open throughout the entire final sequence. They nail in this film how it feels when these humongous titans are just destroying each other, and everyone is just kind of in their way. And let's quickly talk about the tone in this film. While the plot is kind of ridiculous, kind of need just the tone to kind of embrace it, or at least make it feel somewhat more real. And this film actually does a pretty decent job of trying to make this actually feel sort of plausible. I think they do a really good job of that feeling of dread throughout this film, that these are just these humongous creatures that just cannot be stopped and we just should get out of the way. There's always this feeling of danger right over the horizon. And let's also talk about the pacing in this film, and I honestly think that this is one of the weaker aspects of the film. Now, since there's this threat of danger always being there, the film is a bit slow, and that's not a bad thing, but there needs to be payoff if we're always having this feeling of danger. We need to be able to have some sort of payoff for us setting it up constantly throughout the film, and there's just close to no payoff here until the very end of the film, which is a huge bummer since the end is probably the best part of the movie. First off, they keep dragging you along in the plot, which is not that strong to begin with, only for them to build up to Godzilla's reveal, and it's like, oh yeah, here we go, and yeah, here we go, it's Godzilla, and then cut away from the fight. At first I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll forgive it. That scene was so good building up to it, I'll forgive it. Then they have another scene where humongous monsters heading towards Vegas, and then it just cuts away, and it just shows Vegas kind of like destroyed in the aftermath. And I was like, fine, I'll forgive it again. And then towards the very end, when they're about to do the final fight, they do this shot where they're about to fight. There's the humongous titan, there's Godzilla, they're about to start swinging, and then right as we're about to go into it, they slowly pan back and close the doors. Why? Why are we forgetting the best part of this movie, which is Godzilla? How do we keep cutting away from the most important part of this movie? It's named on him, and we don't see him until the last 20 minutes. It wouldn't be as atrocious if we actually cut to something interesting, but we go from these epic Godzilla fights to boring military guys planning. No one is watching this film for it to cut back to the military just sitting in Oakland. I mean, if they were interesting characters, I could at least pass this off, but there are scenes where Godzilla is entering cities, and then we just cut back to a random army base, or we're just on a random battleship, and it's with these characters going, whoa, there's Godzilla, we must stop him, and it's like, what? It would not be as bad if these characters just weren't so boring. Let's talk about the characters. First off, you have Aaron Taylor Johnson playing an army soldier, and the film is kind of looked through his eyes. He's kind of our perspective, and he is pretty bland. Not really the actor's fault, it's just he wasn't really written that well. You do not connect with him at all. He's not really likable, and he doesn't really feel human. I just didn't really enjoy his character. There are better characters like Bryan Cranston and Ken Watanabe, but they don't feel that they get enough screen time, especially Bryan Cranston. For me, he was probably my favorite character, but he's just not in the film enough. The characters in this film are easily the weakest link in the movie, and it's really weird because they have kind of an all-star cast. Like Sally Hawkins is in this film, and she's just Ken Watanabe's assistant, and she's a pretty well-known actress, and she gets to do basically nothing in this film. Her name is Elizabeth Olsen. All she does in this film is either watch the TV or call the government asking for her husband. Now, there's one character though that they really nail, and that is Godzilla. He is so rad in this film. The way that they are able to build him up as this force in nature and let him just wreak havoc is awesome, and I honestly think that he is easily the best part of this movie. Let's talk about Godzilla real quick. He gets some amazing scenes in this film, and I love how they're able to show how he's just so big and slow but powerful. It's just great to see Godzilla up there. I think his scenes are amazing. It's such a bummer since we don't get to see him because we keep cutting away. I think honestly I would have liked this film a lot more if they just would have had longer takes with Godzilla and cut out of a lot of the dumb military dialogue and characters and just focus this film a lot more on the payoff of Godzilla fighting and not wait until the very last moment to have one epic fight. That last fight is awesome, but I'd like to be interested and entertained throughout the entire movie as well. This film on a whole, I think, doesn't have the strongest plot, doesn't have the strongest characters, it has a pretty decent cast, but those are never the strongest things in a Godzilla film. If you're able to get Godzilla right in one of these films and nail the tone and destruction of the film, you probably got a good Godzilla movie on your hand. The only problem is they don't let Godzilla be in the movie enough. They keep cutting away, and the best parts of the movie are going to happen. The only reason I'm just asking for more Godzilla is because those last 20 minutes are jaw-droppingly awesome. Like, they are seriously amazing. But is the rest of the film up to that standard? No, I don't think it really is. I think that last 20 minutes makes some people think that the overall movie was just fantastic and the payoff was worth it. But I don't know if those 20 minutes that were absolutely everything I wanted to see in a Godzilla movie made up for the hour and a half before that I just really didn't enjoy. So this is kind of a weird film to score, so I think I'm going to say that overall Godzilla is okay. I was kind of close to good, maybe a little close to underwhelming, but I think that those last few scenes are really so good that they kind of make up for the rest of the film. So I'm going to say it's okay. It kind of comes out right in the middle. But we probably have different ideas about Godzilla, and I'd honestly love to hear your opinions down below. I think this film's a bit more decisive because I know some people who really love this film, and then a lot of people just say it's really boring and just don't like it as much. So honestly, I would love to have a discussion down in the comments about your thoughts about Godzilla 2014. So watch out later this week for my review of Kong Skull Island. That will be up this Saturday, and also remember this Friday I will be having my first impressions of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Remember, we're back on the Marvel show train. We finished up wrapping up WandaVision. I did a full series review and ranked all those episodes if you want to go see that. But anyways, when those future videos come out, I'll see you then. Bye.